said it was George Bush. I think he was the governor of Texas at that time.
Yes.
And he spoke to the NAACP in Texas. And he said, we have to be mindful of and aware of the soft bigotry of low expectations.
Yes.
I have never forgotten
Preach,
that.
George
We,
Bush.
we think maybe it comes from a loving place, but those low expectations, you're
Right.
not asking or demanding that they meet the standards.
Yeah.
You're promoting, instead of promoting excellence, you're promoting something else.
Right.
You're tying even equity. Equity is like unity. It's an abstract principle. It only matters in relation to what you're being equitable towards. White people are not the standard for excellence. So when you tell me about an achievement gap, I'm like, wait a second. They're at 60%, we're at 20%. 60 is
Right.
not the standard, 100% should be the
Right.
standard.
That's right.
I'm after excellence.
Trust everyone to be themselves, but trust in the fact that you can see them well. I mean, it takes too much energy to not trust someone. I mean, trust them to be them.
Right. To be themselves.
Trust a snake to bite you.
Right.
Trust a lion to lie after you. Trust a thief to steal from you. Like, trust them to be them, but know them when you see them.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail, more importantly, you saw the clip. So I'm going to read what it actually said, right? The soft bigotry of low expectations. Discrimination is still a reality even when it takes different forms. Instead of Jim Crow, there's racial redlining and profiling. Instead of separate but equal, there is separate and forgotten. Another form of bias is the soft bigotry of low expectations. President George Bush, W. Bush, the son, not the father, NAACP speech 2000. Now, the issue becomes when you get an older black man and an older black woman who's trying to be intellectual and act like they didn't know this ever existed. This is that's part of the playing into the low expectations and soft bigotry. I don't want to hear a 50 plus year old white woman and a 50 plus year old black man act like, yeah, it's uh, it's the low expectations. I would have never understood it, and we're struggling with that to this day. Yeah, yes we are. You still stupid. You playing games now. You're playing games now. So you're telling me when you were a child and you were in school as a child, you didn't have the teachers who made sure you didn't get good grades when you got good grades. You know, if you got a 90, you wound up with an 82. You get what I'm saying? You didn't see that. You didn't have those interactions when you were in class and you know you got a B and the other person got an A and y'all had the exact same answers. And they were white and you weren't. Or Hispanic and you weren't, or Asian and you weren't. Oh, okay, so you're gonna play you playing that game now. See, part of this, the bigotry of low expectations, it has always existed. That was the reason for Jim Crow, like he brought up. It's a reality. Jim Crow was, because of Reconstruction. Reconstruction was like, oh, we let them out of slavery. They have nothing. What can they do? We did a lot. It's like, oh, we got to shut it down. See, integration brought the tampering down of intelligence. That's what goes on in schools. It's just spread out to every group now. That's the issue. Schools aren't teaching and cultivating intelligence. They're dumbing down people. And it was supposed to be a racial dumbing down. But the problem is the bar got set so low, even the people you thought were smart are dumb, to the point where, I talked about it earlier in the year where they did the article in the Guardian because even people in Ivy League schools aren't reading. See that's the soft bigotry of low expectations all the way to the Ivy League level. Because you don't have to read. That's why we see so many dumb people in positions of power that are not black. The expectation was some people could do a little and receive a lot, and some people could do a lot and receive a little. That's America. That's part of the racial redlining and profiling that he was talking about. That's part of why you see people uh, on social media going, "Oh, I didn't realize, I'm working in HR, and if somebody has a black name, we're not gonna take their, you're gonna put their application to the side. I didn't know people still did it. You got hired to do it. You just did it. I had to quit. Okay, that's that. That's that idea of how can I say this? If a black guy is high school or college educated, he might have the same actual opportunity for employment as a white felon. That's the issue. That's the soft bigotry of low expectations. How did you really get into school? Was it really affirmative action? Are you there because you're black? Could you play sports? Is that what happened? Okay, interesting. I know you didn't get an academic scholarship. I know you didn't get an academic scholarship either, because there ain't that many academic scholarships. So let's not play this game. But people will still play this game. You know, the same thing. Um, even right now, when they're talking about Nick Fuentes, I don't like to be around black people. Nick Fuentes, you're not around black people. And the irony of Nick Fuentes and his open bigotry is I don't think he's saying anything about ICE and Hispanics. I don't think he's saying anything about profiling and targeted and racism when white people are throwing Hispanics under the bus so much that South Park is making episodes of white Homeland Security ICE agents driving into heaven and locking up Hispanic angels. But what's Nick Fuentes talking about? I don't like black people. See, a lot of this is moving the goalposts and soft shoeing around the real issues. That's what's going on. People are moving the goalposts and soft shoeing around real issues. And the issue is, and you see it with classism in America. People actually believed, that, how can I say, racially, you deserve a smaller piece of the pie in the GDP of America. And racially, white people deserve a huge piece of the pie because of racism in America. And now you put yourself in a position where you have the super haves, some haves, and mostly have nots. And part of the hustle is, well, let's put low expectations on the other groups, and hopefully we'll make it. And in common sense would have told you you're not gonna make it, but it didn't dawn on you, because see, the low expectations is just renamed. You get what I'm saying? Like, they'll say low expectations is all these black people on welfare. Okay, white people on subsidies, right? Government subsidies. That's welfare. Just because you change the name, it doesn't make it any different. So now these the poor blacks are getting these food stamps and welfare, but these whites are getting $1 million and what do you call that? Hundreds of thousands of dollars in subsidy programs. It's like, oh, okay, interesting. Government contracts for doing absolutely nothing, to the point where people that are white, Hispanic, and Asian are just scamming the system for millions of dollars, and they're not catching on until 20, 30, 50, 100, $200 million later. Something that black people cannot do, by the way, because they'll be up on their jobs. You have the expectations of, how can I put this? How can I say this properly? I'm gonna use a sports reference because it's football season. You get a black quarterback, he's not a pocket passer. He isn't smart enough to read defenses. His IQ, he can't handle the position. He's just gonna run because he's an athlete. You get a white quarterback who don't know what he's doing. He's a gunslinger. He's just a gunslinger. He don't know what he's doing. He can't read coverages. So he's just going to throw the ball anywhere. Get double coverage, triple coverage, doesn't matter. Oh, he believes in his receivers and his ability. No, he don't know what he's doing. That's all that is. So when you change the race, you change the narrative of the expectations. You know, and people play these games like I didn't know, and that's why I said in the beginning, I have a problem with these fake intellectuals who don't know what's going on. So what are we talking about? What are you talking about then? If you just figured out that the game is rigged, it's been rigged. It's never not been rigged. It's never been fair. It's never been equitable. It's never been a situation intended for everybody having a opportunity to actually make it. It's always been these people have all these opportunities to make it. These people have few and far between options to make it. Even if they do all the right things, there's going to be obstacles based on race. That's America. You know, and even when black people have high expectations of themselves, what do you become? The uppity Negro. How dare you see yourself as more than, you know, the gum on the bottom of my shoe. He's an arrogant, uppity Negro. It's all games. That's the how did you get in my neighborhood? How are you driving this car? How can you afford these clothes? How can you afford this watch? How can you buy all your groceries with cash and not card credit? What's going on in America? It's just a racialized monopoly game where most of the white people are losing too. So, it's silly, but that's what it is. I'm gonna leave it at that. Catch you on the next one. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.